Welcome to the American Rambler with your host Grafton. Okay, this is my third time trying to record this. Now, here is my theory on why Gen Z, not Gen Z, I'm sorry, Gen X, voted for Trump, and also why the young men waited until day of voting. Okay, we're gonna have to go back about 100 years and show how the women got the vote and what really happened afterwards. Okay, uh, America at the time, and most voting men, were isolationists. They did not want to get into Europe's war. Europe's war was Europe's problem, not ours. But Woodrow Wilson, he wanted to get involved in World War One to show the superpower that America uh, is. So he made a deal with the feminists, to go out there and convince that women voting would be a good idea, and then convince the men that joining World War One, becoming cannon fodder for the U.S. was a good idea. And also the men that voted for this, hey, I'm married. I'm not just going to get one vote, I'm going to get two votes because I can tell or instruct my wife to vote the way I want to vote. Uh, you know, but the men didn't expect the women to, one, turn on them, and two, the government or the government to be going after bribing with social programs the women to turn against the men. That way, they'll always have a perpetual job of perpetual uniparty. I've always said that politicians and psychiatrists and psychologists are their job is dependent on not solving problems. Once you solve the problem, then you no longer have the need. So the reality is that they want to create more problems. Now, fast forward 100 years, we're seeing the effects of what happened to young men, or I shouldn't say young men, middle-aged and older men. Um, I am Gen Xer, so this is the probably the first generation where a majority of the time men were under the authority of women in so many different ways. School, household, dating. It's just not the last 10 years. The only thing social media did was expose what really happened. Okay? You know, television shows like Dallas and Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, women became entitled to the trappings of being extremely rich. Instead of building something with the man, they started waiting for the men at the finish line. So this is the entitlement, and the entitlement got stronger and stronger and stronger in the dating world until we're at the point where men have just said, okay, enough is enough. Also, women are in the school system, and as the study has shown, if the teacher knows that the student is a female, she will intentionally give a better grade to the female. But if it was done with a unknowingly what the gender is, 9 out of 10, the men would outperform the women. So here's that issue. And also, I love how they say, if you have a college degree, you are educated. No, you're not educated if you have a college degree. You have only shown that person that you can regurgitate what the teacher has taught you. Okay? Yes, I do have a college degree. You know, one of the times I was teaching a group of students who failed the Gaokao, but they were extremely smart. You know, I told them that the only thing the Gaokao proves is that you can take a test. It doesn't prove your capability of rational thought and being able to do the work. Okay? Believe me, look at Elon Musk. Does he have a degree in rocketry or electronic science? No. And his degree's in economics. Everything he's learned, everything that he does is actually self-taught. Okay? You know, there are a lot of people here that also, they don't have degrees, but they are self-taught. They've learned how to do these things. Okay? Also, in my time, instead of girls getting jobs at McDonald's or, you know, fast food or other places like that, law offices and doctor offices were hiring the good-looking high school girls or college girls to come work part-time in their office. And then also, what happened is a lot of men will have jobs working full-time, and women will quit their jobs while waiting for a job that they like, and they would rely on the man's money. They kind of continued exploiting the situation, and men kept observing and observing this situation. And the same with single mothers and the parentification of the boys in their household, you know, and seeing this, and also working in the corporate office. You know, I gotta tell you, women in offices, I've worked in a corporate office before, and I have to tell you, they are some of the most evil, hateful, spiteful people. And the only, you know, and if you go to HR, which is mainly female, waste of time, end up letting me have my career destroyed because of lies in order to save the women's careers and the company to avoid a lawsuit. Okay? So, and I'll say the things, oh, you're too sensitive. It was just a joke, you know, but they don't actually see what it really translates to, you know. And the same with the TV shows where they're always making the man, the husband, the bumbling fool, the stuff like this. They see that, they take that in, they internalize it. What is happening is that Gen X continues to see the browbeating, you know, no matter what they do, it's never going to be enough. Enough, so they said, hey, look, I am going to take care of myself. I am going to make sure that I have a good economy to where I can have a job, I can start my own business, I can hire and have the people around me that I want, that's not full of the hate, that's not full of the spite. You know, maybe I'll work alone, or maybe I'll have a couple of other people to work for me. I'll make sure I keep a low enough number of employees where I don't have to worry about EOC coming after me. I think the rule is if you have less than 5 employees, your EOC doesn't matter. Uh, doesn't matter. You don't need to have that kind of workplace balance. Show that you are fair in hiring practices, etc. Okay, so that's one of the reasons is that men have seen what happens when women get power. There's no accountability for their poor behavior. There's no accountability for their actions. They only think about the individuals or their own group, while men are more cooperative, while women are more competitive. They will compete with each other. But if you put together a group of men and then you tell them, we need this done, the men will come together, figure out who's the most qualified, and they'll help each other. It's kind of funny. You know, my friends would come to me with computer problems, but if we have like a building problems, I'll have a friend like David help me. You know, everybody has their own strength. You know, and we help and we lift each other up. And also the reasons why the men or the women also voted for Trump in this same district at the same probably 20% is because they had a strong male role model in their house. Now, I've talked before about my father being weak and, you know, just believing whatever my sister believes. But when it came to himself, one of the things he would not tolerate is disrespect from my sisters. They would watch these talk shows, and my dad got it right. And believe me, the talk shows at that time were way not as offensive as they are today, for lack of a better word. But he would lock at the TVs before he would go home. He'd put little plugs on the TV, and then when he got home, he would unplug them once all the talk shows were done. But my sister Lisa figured out how to pick the lock, and she continued to watch those TV shows, which probably explains why she is divorced. You know, she blames me for not calling her, but yet when I call her, she hangs up on me. So tell me about that kind of logic. So I think that like 20% is about right for women that had a couple household full where they had both the man and the woman. You know, showed the man was definitely still within the household. So that's my reasoning for why Gen X chose Trump over Kamala Harris. They've seen what happens when a woman has power. It did not turn out good. Now, the reason why the men waited until the last minute or the day of is because you do not want the enemy to know your true strength. You know, you watch these John Wayne movies, Humphrey Bogart, or anytime, you know, military or cowboy movies. What really happens is that you know, okay, they set a trap, you know, a couple of people, the enemy. Oh, let's get the enemy. This will be a coup, and then all of a sudden you find out you have been surrounded. They lured them out, and then you've been surrounded by your troop, by the opponent. after luring out the enemy. So what happened here was that Trump lured out the enemy, lured out Kamala, got her to expend all her resources, thinking, yay, I got this one in the bag. And then all of a sudden, here comes the cavalry, as Musk put it, to vote for Trump. Because Trump did not allow people to know the truth strength. So tell me what you think about my theory. Leave it in the comments. This has been Paul Grafton signing off.